Hey guys, Bitcoin has seen some fairly aggressive selling for the start of the week here, so I just want to take a look at a little bit of the bad, a little bit of the good, just very quickly here since I haven't brought you a video in a few days here. As I was saying, I mean, Bitcoin doesn't look great. The fact that, we did actually end up breaking out from this resistance here, but we just never really gained much momentum right there. I mean, that could have been a beautiful breakout, but the bulls are in fact struggling there. I had this ascending triangle mapped out. So, I mean, there's a few things right now to discuss. I mean, as I mentioned, I think things do look weak. The fact that we broke out above this, came back right back down into my triangle here. The thing that isn't so bad here that I gotta say is, we did have this upward sloping support line. And even though, yes, we absolutely did get a big wick down below that on the 4-hour chart, our candle bodies are still holding that so far. So not all hope is lost. Yeah, there's absolutely potential that, we just end up turning some of this support into resistance and just dumping a little bit further to the downside. But something that is nice for Bitcoin right now is, I mean, you can see here with my indicator, we have a lot of green boxes here. I mean, this is the one that I mapped out for kind of the bottom of this range back here. But we also have these lighter green colored boxes, which would be our demand zones. And you can see that my MDX algo indicator here is showing a lot of demand at these levels. I mean, here as well as this entire range below us. So some of them are even overlapping here. So no matter what happens with Bitcoin, I mean, the nice thing is that we can see that there clearly is demand here. And the bulls are a little bit hungry. So I mean, yeah, we're going to have to see what happens until we end up dropping this green box that I've mapped out. I'm still going to remain cautiously bullish. If we end up dropping this box, I mean, yeah, there's absolutely the possibility it's just a quick fake out liquidity grab and then we carry on to the upside there. But there is also potential, guys, is we do have a very big just basically a big gap below us where we didn't really have much trading action. After we broke this resistance here, it was basically just a moonshot straight to the upside. So that can very likely happen in the opposite direction if we end up dropping the support. Again, not saying it has to happen. We have to see what happens and how the price actually reacts if we drop those levels, whether or not we end up flipping that support into resistance or it is just a quick fake out. As I mentioned, grabbing some of that liquidity and then giving the bulls the fuel to carry on higher from there. So the market's at a very interesting place. I really was expecting much higher prices when we broke out of this level. And really, I still haven't really changed my opinion all that much. I mean, we look over at the weekly chart here. And I mean, once again, guys, as long as we're holding above this support box here, ever since we ended up breaking below, faced this old support as new resistance here on our way up, but then we ended up getting that nice clean breakout above. So things aren't all that bad for Bitcoin, even though it feels like we're selling quite a bit here. Just hopping over to a fairly clean weekly chart here, you can see that even right here, just what happened with this weekly candle. Let me actually just turn off some of the colors here. But I even really like the fact that we had some momentum with that weekly candle body close. The fact that we actually managed to close this last weekly candle on Sunday evening above these wicks back here. That is nice. Obviously, I would have preferred that we stayed above that level and just kind of tap that and blast it off from there. But it is what it is. All in all, I mean, it's not too uncommon to see a candle test back into the previous candle. So, I mean, as it stands right now, we just basically tested the lows of last week. So nothing too crazy, although just how it happened so rapidly there at the beginning of the week, it does feel like it's been some pretty heinous selling. So, I mean, we're at a spot in the market, you guys. Just tread carefully because, like I said, I'm personally seeing things from both sides here. I'm seeing arguments from both sides here. We're really just going to have to see what happens. As it looks as far as a weekly time frame here, things still look pretty good. Obviously, if we get a massive engulfing candle back into our rising wedge here, or even drop this blue support box, I mean, things could get, very juicy for the bears in that case. But again, we're just going to have to see here. Yeah, again, this is the 4-hour chart. Actually, another thing I wanted to point out on the weekly chart Another thing we are struggling with, and I pointed this out in my last video, is that 382 Fibonacci, and that's pulled from our bull market high down to our bear market bottom. So I'm looking for resistance points rather than support points. So pulled top to bottom here, and you guys know that in a strong trend, the 382 is often a fine line in the sand there. So the fact that we are in fact struggling with that level, not all too uncalled for, in my opinion. I think, obviously I would have preferred that, hey, we got this weekly candle close above the 382. I would have loved to see a perfect retest from on top and then bouncing from that level. So we are seeing a little bit of weakness here. So just, as I mentioned, guys, just tread carefully here. As far as the midterm goes, I'm still in scalping mode just because I really don't want to just blindly FOMO into this rally here, but at the same time, I really don't want to bet against the trend. So I do still have a cautiously bullish outlook on the market. I absolutely understand that there can be pullbacks just like that weekly candle, testing back into previous levels and that sort of thing. But as far as the trend goes, I am personally more into the idea of finding bullish setups where I can long the market, quickly take part of my position's profits off the table because I'm treating it as a scalp, and then basically letting half my position run, trying to catch a runner with the rest, laddering out of my position from there, sort of a thing. So I mean, yeah, if we can get back above this 382, I still really think that we are on our way to this 618 Fibonacci level, which is up closer towards 48,000. Obviously doesn't have to happen. I just really believe that we are on our way there. The path to get there, I mean, who knows? We may end up pulling back into this blue box before we get that test up here. Maybe it's just a few months of trading sideways before getting up to that level. And maybe we just, dump right back down and kind of test closer to our lows. Let's say maybe testing some support Fibonacci's. I personally don't expect us to drop back down towards these levels. But I mean, anything is possible. The market doesn't give a shit what I think about it. So, I mean, anything is absolutely possible. But as far as the long-term trend goes, once again, I really do think that we're en route to get to that 618 resistance fib. But again, that I really don't expect that. I'm not saying that's this week or next week or anything like that. I'm thinking kind of in the next few months we're going to end up at those levels. But we're going to have to see what the market gives us. So yeah, that's about all I wanted to say for now. Like I said, just be a little bit cautious because, again, we are looking a little bit weak for how this breakout could have went. Since it was such a nice long consolidation period, we had such a nice rally going for us before that consolidation. I mean, this could have absolutely done a moonshot, and it kind of got stopped fairly quickly. And actually, you know what? Maybe we did get a measured move of this range. Let's just check it out here. Let's just take a measured move like so. And I mean, we never quite got a full measured move if that's where we're taking it from, but I mean, very close. So, maybe that was all that we had for now before we need to cool off, pull back a little bit, test some lower levels. But again, guys, we're just going to have to see what happens. So as it stands right now, as far as the long-term trend goes, I think Bitcoin's in an absolutely beautiful position. Again, just being above this old blue support box here, which was basically very strong support in the first phase of our bear market, and then turning into very strong resistance for basically a few months very recently. So very strong level there. I really want to see that level hold as support. Whether we test that now fairly quickly in the next month or two, or we end up testing some higher levels and then coming back down to this level. I truly do believe we come back down into this box at some point. I just don't know if that's kind of the next move on Bitcoin's agenda, or we, like I said, we just get up a little bit higher and then come back down to those levels. We're going to have to see. So anyways, friends, if you did appreciate this video and my insights here, do me a favor and hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't. Obviously, none of this is financial advice. Do your own research, form your own opinions. We could have the same charts, the same trend lines, the same indicators, same settings and everything, and totally trade these markets differently. So it's still very important to find out what catches your eye, what works for you in the game of trading. But yeah, if you guys want access to these beautiful indicators that I use in all my videos, as well as the VIP Discord, and on top of that, a couple of no KYC crypto exchanges as well, I've got some referral links down below for some special bonuses, discounts, and so on. And with that, I'm out. Stay safe, my friends. Peace.